One of the greatest race car drivers of all time is with us this morning, Willy T. Ribs. Willie, how's life in Texas? How you doing?
Bobby C, I'm staying hot down here.
It's actually hot up here in New York City too. So I don't know if it's as bad as it is in Texas, but we're feeling the warmth here in the summertime.
Well, you know, we can share we can share that, but I can tell you that it stays hot down here for a long time. You up in New York, you might get it for a few days and then it cools off. And I got to tell you, I like coming up north of New York City, up in Connecticut, and I love the weather up there.
Well, Willie, I'm going to stick with the topic, I guess, of hot, because the superstar racing experience was definitely a hot experience this summertime. And you just wrapped up SRX. You know, your competitive drive, even at 66 years old, is extremely evident. You know, what was it like to be back racing regularly again? I mean, 6 consecutive weeks in a row for that series.
It was like boot camp. Now, I haven't gone through the military and boot camp, but I had never, in all my years of racing, and I've been racing for 45 years, right? I have never done 6 weekends in a row. And to do 6 weekends in a row at 66, boy, that'll get grind on you. But it was great from the standpoint of reconnecting with fans again, old and young. There were a lot of fans who weren't born when I was racing. And so to meet new fans and then, of course, reconnect with fans that are close to my age, that followed me, was a great experience. And then racing with, Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte and Bill Elliott and Michael Waltrip, plus Helio Castro Neves and Kanan and Paul Tracy. It was great. And little bitty Haley Deegan and Ernie Francis Jr. It was young and old, right? Us old guys, Waltrip and myself and Bill Elliott, out there banging it up with the kids.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you bring up a great point. I have the little roster here. I love having showcasing some of my collectibles here on the show. But, you were the oldest driver in the series. You don't look it. And CBS even did a fine job of marketing the series, of course, as the legends coming out of retirement. But I know some of your real diehard fans, myself included, will remember that it's just a couple of years ago that you won that race, the Indy Legends Charity Pro-Am race in 2019. I was there covering that race, and I think it speaks to the fact that, again, you still have that drive and you're still winning when you're behind the wheel of a race car.
This SRX series was all short tracks, all bull rings, half miles tracks, and we did 1/4 mile in Milwaukee at a place called Slinger, and 1/4 mile racetrack in a big race car with 750 horsepower. That was work, but it was, you get in there and you're racing with everybody, and when you're done, you look at, you get out and you say, you know what, I'm older, but I still enjoy it, and I still feel the energy. I'm not as fast, but ask any former baseball player, football player, or basketball in their 60s how fast they are.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I was watching it, or we got a chance to come out and cover that first race, got to see you again, I think novelty brings energy and excitement. And you see the ratings are up for motorsports pretty much across the board. And this series, brought together some of those elements. You had different formats, you had different venues, different combinations of drivers. And I think that's why it worked so very well. I mean, it was something new and exciting. And motorsports is all about entertainment.
Well, and we did 2 of the races. 2 were on dirt, and I had a ball. I'm no dirt racer, but I had Eldora. I was leading in Eldora on the dirt for the first time, and I got to tell you, it was fun. It was fun to race. It was, you're sliding. On asphalt, you hardly move that wheel. You turn, but you don't go right. And dirt, you're right more than you are left. So it was a great experience. And and I think that added to the spectacle. And you talk about ratings. We had bigger ratings than Formula One. We had bigger ratings than IndyCar. We had as good a ratings as NASCAR Cup Series. That's their big series. Yeah, it was strong. But we put on a hell of a show.
You absolutely did. I mean, and in terms of your career too, Willie, which is something I obviously wanted to speak about this morning. I mean, you were 25 years ahead of your time. Is it hard to believe that it's been 36 years since you made that first attempt to qualify for the Indy 500, especially after becoming at that time, you were a dominant driver in Europe?
It goes fast. Bobby, see, you'll find out.
I'm getting. I feel it now. I'm getting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're on your way, and I got to tell you, it goes by, and there are a lot the great moments you recall. It's so easy to recall the great moments. There are moments that you don't care to think about, but getting back in the seat, you get in slow, you get out slow. In the old days, when you're young, you leap in, you leap out, right? So I had it was great to come back and do it, but you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them.
Good stuff, Willie. I mean, you're a racing pioneer. I know sometimes when people give out those kind of great titles to someone, you might not necessarily feel that way, but you absolutely are the Jackie Robinson of motorsport. And your story is so beautifully told in this documentary, Uppity. I want to showcase my collection of t-shirts here. Our fans at home should definitely check that out on Netflix. And to me, Willie, there is no Lewis Hamilton without Willy T ribs. And it's hard for me to fathom that in 2021, as a man that became the first black driver to test a Formula One car, there's only been one black driver in F1 in 71 years of racing, and that's Lewis Hamilton. And you can make the case that the 7-time champion is the best ever.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he is on the verge of winning 100 Formula One World Championship Grand Prix. The nearest guy to him is 77. Okay, that was Michael Schumacher. He's won more races. He's had more poles. He's done more than anyone. He's equal to world titles at 7 with Schumacher. He could, before he retires, he'll be at 8, maybe 9. I mean, he set the bar so high, it's almost, impossible for anyone to equal it, let alone break it. So, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of his resolve. I'm proud of his toughness. And every time I see Lewis, and not even just Lewis, young kids today, I remind them that what Muhammad Ali reminded me of: you must be tough. You must be tough. You don't show pain. Ali told me, he says, I fought Ken Norton with a broken jaw for 13 rounds. He never knew I was hurting because I never showed pain. You don't show pain. And that might be old school, and some psychologists might say, that's too rigid, or you must be determined, you must be resolved, and don't show anything that would enable your detractors or your competitors to beat you.
That was part 1 of our interview with racing pioneer Willy T. Ribbs. Tune in this Friday for part 2.